Hey there, Dave Gardner here, and I want to give my take on the Freedom Fest. Ryan Lee's event in Connecticut was just unbelievable. It's I've been to a few events, and it's kind of like no other because number one, it wasn't a pitch fest, and the speakers were concise. They got to the point. They presented their ideas. It wasn't flash. It wasn't screenshots of the all the money they made. It was providing content, providing value, and I want to go through just some of the key points to show you why it is so good. And I'm hoping Ryan will do another one and why you should actually get there. So this is my 1 to 2 sentence take on all the speakers and some of the people that I had some time to spend a moment either having a short conversation or maybe it was a longer hangout at the bar afterwards. So this is my take, and basically, you guys are all awesome for everything you provided for us. And one of the coolest things that I took out of the event and found at the event, just basically how Ryan ran it was again, without being a pitch fest, but he also, that basically all the speakers were sitting amongst all the the people that were there just as attendees. So I looked over at one side of me and to the table to my left, and all of a sudden she was speaking, and then I looked at the table to the right, and then they were speaking. Then all of a sudden I realized one of the guys that was sitting at my table was speaking too. So everyone was there to learn. It wasn't like some of the other conferences where people are out in the hallways or they're in like the special speaker room and secluding themselves. Ryan really set it up where everyone was really involving and investing themselves with us, whether it was at the pajama party or which is a good unique event. I had my pajama bottoms on, and most people did too, which is kind of neat that everyone participated. Or just hanging out, eating dinner with them. So it was a great event. So this is I put down 2 pages of notes. I actually took about 20 pages in the notebook, but these are just some quick things that I came up with on why you should become maybe part of the Freedom Academy with Ryan Lee, or why you should look forward to and get on his list and find out when the next Freedom Fest will be. So I'm just going to go through. I'm going to basically mention the name again. Every single one of these people was awesome, and I want to thank Stu McLaren first off for this card idea, because Stu's awesome. I've known Stu for a while. I had the pleasure of going with him and his World Teacher Aid organization through a contest that I won a few years back to Africa. And this is one of the ways that he was talking about building his tribe. And I'll get to Stu again in a minute, but these guys are all awesome. So if you were at the event, you know how awesome it was as well. If you missed it, maybe you can get the videos and you'll understand that these people are awesome. So here we go. Bear with me. All right, Todd Herman basically talked about getting yourself lined up in boxes and maintaining focus on one project. Otherwise, you're going to eliminate how much time can actually focus on any one thing. So if you had 2 projects, in reality, it's not 50% of each thing is going to be focusing the energies from. It's really going to be there's time in between where you're transitioning from one to another. So that was a key point from Todd. Excuse me, Dan Meredith. I'll sum it up how Ryan says he is a dripping beast of awesomeness. And I liked his idea about the free shit Fridays with his social groups and, getting more engagement, getting pictures out there so that people are actually taking action and commenting. Andrew Locke, making awesome, authentic LCPs or lead capture pages. Great idea, just being different when you're actually out there to get people to take action on your papers and or your websites, and it might actually be something funny and humorous, but it gets them to take some action. Jack Bourne, having deadlines but not slamming the people with deadlines from day one and having those countdown timers, put it in after day 4 or 5, not really on the first day. Voni Hari, using your voice to beat the haters. And I'm going to paraphrase just to try to keep this relatively clean, but basically I love the fact that she said, even though she wasn't a doctor, people didn't believe her, that she did get an advisory council of doctors. So you might not necessarily be the expert, but if you have connections with the experts, you can do that as well. So that's, an awesome tip right there. Agnes Antonopolis. And again, if I slay anyone's last name, I apologize. Basically, the 1-minute social media videos, adding your names to the titles, that was a key thing that I'm going to be taking action on with my YouTube videos, adding my name in there so I can be found a little bit easier. Chad Collins, making videos with your kids, I thought was awesome. And adding value to items, basically to increase upsell value and perceived value. And I like the idea that he only did the Facebook ads to the moms, which in my niche of lacrosse as well would be perfect, because the mom's going to be the ones that are buying stuff for holidays and presents and gifts and things. And it was awesome chatting with you and your wife over lunch and getting to know you and of course about your business a little bit more. So, you're awesome in that regards. Zack, Evenesh, inspiring others over instructing others. That was the tip I got out of that. And basically, trying to create your perfect day, to fit your life and your needs. Zack Swinehart, basically segmenting the homepage and targeting your audience. So I'm going to be making some tweaks on my blog for that, just to try to get people to be able to find what they need a little bit easier, and then I can figure out what they want in the long run. Nick Ortner, basically the whole try before you buy and giving great content first with, for example, online summits. And, instead of just bringing in a long background story and history of the people, actually just getting right into the content, give them the goods instead. Ben Settle, 5 subject line tips I got from him, and finding the answer in your market and using forums for the content, and figure out what some hot threads are and using that to create content for yourself. And Ben, it was awesome hanging with you and Jody to the early morning hours, which ended up being 2 nights in a row. So it was great to get to know you. Hopefully you guys had some safe travels back to Oregon, and it was great hanging out with you and just sharing some stories. It was good times. Kevin Rogers, getting the voice in your head out for others to hear and sticking to that voice and being true to it. And of course, you were freaking awesome just for the hilarious jokes you were providing, and the humor and rocking out with Eddie Van Halen. So I appreciate that. We ended that was just day one. Okay, that was just day one. So we ended that with a pajama party. Everyone had nice time mixing, mingling, having some beverages, chilling out, and it was just a really pure, relaxed environment. Everyone just kind of hanging out. We had people in Care Bear outfits. We had a Wookiee, Darth Vader pajamas, Rocky costume, Rocky robes and stuff. So, everyone was pretty free and loose, so it kind of made it a really nice environment to hang out in. On day 2, we started off with Brian Kurtz, and some of the things, again, we'll be doing basically a tip or 2 that I picked up here. Basically, never stop testing and making sure that your future results are actually significant. Okay, make sure that they have some significance to them. Ryan Lee, of course, the man of the hour, man of the weekend. He came and gave us some real, juice on, basically being personal in your business and trying to let people know what you're about and what your life is. So, basically realizing that the equity of your business is really your customer base and not just those transactions that take place. And, continuing to share your personal story and your life story. He's always putting, things in his emails on where he is, whether it's the coffee shop or, recently you've talked about falling at the beach and hurting his knee. So, hopefully you're all healed up, Ryan. Hopefully you're well rested now, maybe a couple days when you catch up and find this video. And, but, it was just great to hang out and finally meet you in person. And, you put on a wonderful event. Let's see, page 2, Jeff Cavaliere, doing it without affiliates, and basically having, taking ownership and control of your own thing so that people aren't messing up what you want to do and what your voice and, how you want to actually present your materials. And, the idea that you're consistent in putting videos out, regardless of what your first video looked like, it makes me want to go back and make more videos with my niche as well. And just sticking to one medium, I think, is, a big key point that I need to focus on. The whole idea less is more. So, I appreciated you making that statement. Abel James, asking fans regularly about what they want and giving it to them, which then I could tie in with some other things, giving them videos and trainings. And, of course, just being an awesome musician and, backup musician at Freedym Fest. You did a wonderful job. And, again, it was awesome talking with you at dinner as well. That was one of the big things, like I mentioned before. Everyone just kind of hung out with each other. Didn't matter if you were successful, if you were just starting out. Everyone was going out and hanging out, having dinner, having drinks, sitting down afterwards and just sharing themselves, getting to know each other. And it was really, really great event just because that's, again, highly suggested. And I'm gonna get back to my list here, but Mike and Susie, making the story and willing to make that change, listening to others' advice, and making it about life and not just a single product. Ryan Levesque, survey killer tips, and what types of what type of character are you quizzes. I thought that was kind of neat. That was one of the big things. I interestingly enough, I'd always seen them and thought that they were kind of annoying and people were wasting your time on them. But then I realized I kept seeing them in the thread. So apparently I need to, wake up to that reality and kind of tie that into my niche as well. Jonathon Fields, creating a revolution, using your passion and doing something that you're, willing to fight for. Justin Brooke, I like the perfect blog layout. I'm going to be tweaking some things there and testing that out. And, I appreciate the budget and bidding strategies you presented for us and that special link you gave us to find out some cool swipe and headline and content ideas. And also, I took thought about that idea of, sending to the blog, sending to a post versus just sending to a lead capture page, to provide people another avenue to actually get more content and then keep coming back to your site. My buddy Stu McLaren, again, you are awesome, just like everybody else, but you were the one who passed out these cards, so I just want to thank you for that again. Basically, how to keep growing your tribes with awesome ideas. And, of course, it was hysterical sharing the story of your mom's license plate. And, everyone really got a kick out of that, and it really made the day after lunch. Michael Fischman, credibility through transparency and having an ego that does not reach beyond your message. It's good to have a little ego, but it's not good where, it's going to put everyone down and you feel that you're above everybody else. So, making sure that your message is always bigger than you yourself. Adam Levine, making sure your product doesn't suck, which I thought was kind of funny, by getting feedback, from other people and, that are in the industry and see what their thoughts are. And, I'm going to throw out another, perfect awesomeness to you. Had a great chat with you at the bar last night. One of the great things, we talk about, some of the struggles and what, life has brought us. But I like that idea that you brought me about, especially with the kids, about hearing and finding my voice. So I appreciate you for that. Thank you. Leah Fischman got up there and shared about, using the pain points to provide and create content and giving them what they want and basically getting over yourself and realizing it's not what you think you should give them. It's, you need to give them what they really want and what they're really asking for. Jamie Tardi, getting your voice in their head with audio is going to be so much more because they're going to be hearing you, and it's going to be something that's going to resonate a little bit different than just, a PDF or a report. And, so using the idea of expanding with some audios and or multiple types of podcasting. And also getting sponsorships on other people's podcasts, to direct some leads back to you in ListBuild. And, I want to thank you. It was great having dinner with you as well. Same dinner with Abel, but, a bunch of us went out, and, it's just funny how sometimes people and groups end up together. And I really had a great conversation with you, so I appreciate you. You are awesome as well. And I appreciate the book suggestions as I'm going through some changes and, figuring out some focus in my life. So thanks, you're awesome. And then last, we ended up with Brian Grasso, focusing on delivering, not just selling, and showing others that they can do anything if they put their minds to it. So it was pretty great to hear you throw that shout out to your, I believe it was your stepchildren, who came to the event, just showing them that they really can do that. And that's something that I take to my three daughters as well, that anything they want to come out and put and figure out that they think they have a desire to do, I think they can really do anything. So that's kind of my take on Freedym Fest. There were so many other people that I met that weren't speakers. I just focused on people that really had gone on the stage, but there were so many more other people out there. If I didn't mention you here, I just want to let you know you guys are awesome. Whether it was, a little, like I said, a little side conversation we had at the bar, or, in between, at a break time, just kind of chatting, getting to know people. There's so many people out there and connections that can be made at events like this. I had made some connections in the lacrosse niche, and, they may turn into something, but, the key thing is getting yourself out there, finding out how you can help others. I was able to, just through conversations, one of the other couples that actually talked, I forgot to write them down, but I believe it was Todd and Heather Moore. He runs a successful online chef and cooking business. And, just through conversations, they were talking about moving, and I had talked to another person earlier that was in that same area and actually had a professor job in the Florida area. So, I kind of pointed them in the right direction. So you never know, what your purpose is going to be and where you're going to find the person that you make that connection with that might either have something for you that's going to benefit you, or you have something that can benefit them, or maybe you both benefit each other. So highly suggest going to events, highly suggest, reaching out to people, seeing how you can help them, seeing what their needs are, and seeing if you can help solve their problems, or just maybe in conversation, maybe they're going to have something that will help solve yours. So again, this has been Dave Gardner, and, keep your eyes out and your ears open for the next Freedym Fest. Thanks again, Ryan.